The Scottish Highlands were still waking when Sam Heughan stepped out of the black SUV, the crisp morning air brushing against his face. Rolling hills stretched beyond the mist, ancient and serene, like they'd been waiting centuries for this day. Sam took a deep breath and glanced back at the woman walking toward him, Dakota Johnson. Wrapped in a long beige coat, her hair tucked behind her ears, Dakota smiled softly as she approached him. "You weren't joking," she said, gazing across the windswept land. "This really is in the middle of nowhere." Sam chuckled, slipping an arm around her shoulders. "Welcome to Scotland. Or as my dad calls it, God's favorite front yard." Dakota laughed. I can see why. What she didn't say, but felt, was the weight of the moment. Today, she would meet Sam Heughan's father, not just as Sam's girlfriend. Not as a celebrity visiting Scotland. But as the woman Sam intended to marry. Sam squeezed her hand gently. "He's excited to meet you," he said, though his tone betrayed the nerves he tried to hide. "It's been years since I brought anyone home." Dakota raised an eyebrow, teasing, "Oh? And how many women have made it this far?" Sam pretended to think. Maybe one? Definitely not two," she nudged him playfully. But behind the humor, she understood the gravity. Sam's relationship with his father, Robert Heughan, was complicated. There had been years of silence before reconciliation, years shaped by work, misunderstandings, and the demands of fame. Now, with the wedding only weeks away, Sam insisted that Dakota meet him properly. Not on video, not in a rushed dinner, but here, on the land where Sam grew up and where his father still lived. Dakota's stomach fluttered. She wasn't easily intimidated, not by Hollywood, not by critics, not by the world watching her every move, but meeting a partner's parent always felt deeply personal. Especially the parent of a man she loved this much. The small stone cottage came into view as they rounded the curve. Smoke curled from the chimney, and a loyal old sheepdog barked in greeting. Sam smiled. There he is, Hamish, the real king of this property. Dakota knelt down to pet the dog, who immediately leaned into her hand. "He's perfect," she whispered, "and already loves you," Sam said. "See? You're winning the family over one by one." She swatted his arm. "Let's hope your dad is just as cooperative." Sam didn't answer. He was staring at the front door, where the silhouette of a tall man emerged slowly, leaning on the wooden frame. Robert Heughan, weathered by time, but with a presence that commanded respect. His silver beard glowed in the cold sun, and his clear blue eyes, Sam's eyes, watched them with quiet intensity. Dakota stood, brushing dirt off her knees. Sam took her hand again, offering a steady squeeze. "You ready?" he asked. Dakota inhaled deeply. "As ready as I'll ever be." They walked toward the door. Robert stepped forward, arms crossed, expression unreadable. Sam spoke first. "Dad? This is Dakota." Dakota extended a hand. "It's an honor to meet you, Mr. Heughan." Robert looked at her hand for a moment before taking it. His grip was strong, warm. His voice was gravelly, yet steady. "Welcome to Scotland, lass," Dakota exhaled, smiling. A good start. The inside of the cottage was cozy. Stone walls, wooden beams, old photographs, the smell of peat fire and Earl Grey tea. Dakota admired shelves filled with books, many of them worn and annotated. "You read all these?" she asked. Robert nodded. "Every line." "Some twice." Sam muttered, "He's basically a walking library." Robert shot him a look. "And you're still overdue returning the books I lent you 10 years ago." Dakota's laughter eased the atmosphere. Sam sighed dramatically. "Here we go." They sat around the old wooden table. Dakota wrapped her cold hands around a warm cup of tea. Robert watched her closely, not with suspicion, but with curiosity. "So," he began, "you're the woman who convinced my stubborn son to settle down." Dakota blinked, then grinned. "I prefer the term persuaded gently." Robert chuckled, a deep, rumbling sound. "Good answer." Sam relaxed visibly. This was going better than expected. Halfway through breakfast, Robert set down his cup and looked directly at Dakota. "Why Sam?" he asked plainly. Dakota felt her heart skip. Sam nearly choked on his tea. "Dad," Robert lifted a hand. "No, let the lass answer. If you're both serious about marriage, I want to hear it straight." Dakota swallowed. This moment mattered. She could feel it. Looking at Robert, she spoke slowly, choosing her words from the heart. "Sam is the most grounded person I've ever known. He listens. He cares. He loves fiercely and without hesitation. He makes me laugh, he supports my career without insecurity, and he sees past the Hollywood version of me. With him, I feel safe and challenged at the same time. And, I love the man he is when no one is watching." The cottage fell silent. Sam stared at her, eyes soft with emotion. Robert exhaled slowly. "That," he said, voice thickening, "is a rare thing to find in this world." Dakota reached for Sam's hand. He squeezed back. Robert looked at their entwined fingers, then at Sam. "You've chosen well, son." Sam swallowed hard. "Thank you, Dad." The sincerity in Robert's eyes told Dakota everything she needed to know. He didn't just approve, he respected her. Later, Robert took them on a walk behind the cottage, through fields where Sam grew up chasing cows, climbing trees, and dreaming of acting long before Hollywood knew his name. "This," Robert said, gesturing at the landscape, "is where your future husband learned stubbornness." Dakota giggled. "It explains so much." Sam groaned. "Fantastic. You two are already teaming up." Robert smirked. "Good couples always do." As they walked, Dakota felt the significance of the moment. She wasn't just seeing Sam's past, she was being invited into it, into his roots, his history. His family. She watched Sam and Robert walk side by side, similar in posture and stride. This was where Sam came from. This was the foundation of the man she loved. As the sun dipped low and the sky turned pink, they returned to the cottage. Robert paused at the doorway, turning to them. "Sam," he said, voice firm, "you've grown into a man I'm proud of." Sam swallowed, emotion tightening his throat. Robert looked at Dakota next. "You've brought light into his life. I see it, and I'm grateful." She blinked back tears. "Thank you." Robert nodded slowly. "If you are asking for my blessing before your wedding." Sam's heart pounded. Dakota's breath caught. "You have it." A weight lifted from the air. Dakota stepped forward instinctively and hugged him. Robert stiffened in surprise before giving a warm, fatherly embrace. Sam watched, heart full. This was all he wanted. The final piece before their wedding. The acceptance that meant more to him than any role, trophy, or red carpet. That night, as they prepared to leave, Robert called Sam outside. Dakota watched from the window as father and son stood under the stars, speaking quietly. Sam listened, nodded, then pulled his father into a hug. When he came back inside, Dakota asked softly, "What did he say?" Sam kissed her forehead. He said, "Don't let her go. You'll regret it every day if you do." Dakota's heart swelled. She wrapped her arms around him. "I'm not going anywhere," she whispered. And Sam believed her. The morning after visiting Sam's father felt lighter, warmer. even the Scottish weather seemed to cooperate, gifting them a rare patch of sunlight. Sam and Dakota drove back toward Edinburgh, hands intertwined almost the entire way. "We survived," Dakota teased as the hills rolled past them. Sam grinned. "You didn't just survive, you charmed him. I think he likes you more than he likes me." "That's because I return his books," she said, raising an eyebrow. "And read them." Sam glanced at her, eyes sparkling. "Okay, ouch." They laughed together, the tension of the previous day melting into a soft, glowing memory. Meeting Robert had been more emotional than either of them expected, but it had gone beautifully. Dakota felt grounded, connected, welcomed. But that was only the first family challenge, and Sam knew it. Next. "We deal with your family," he said carefully. Dakota winced. "Yeah, that might be complicated." A few days later, they were in London, neutral ground for both families in the whirlwind leading up to the wedding. Dakota had requested privacy, something she rarely got, but Sam found them a small townhouse tucked away in a quiet street near Hampstead Heath. She loved it instantly. Soft light from big windows, a little garden in back, and a fireplace that crackled at night. "This is perfect," she said. "For us," Sam replied. "For the quiet before the madness." Dakota leaned into him. Their wedding was only 4 weeks away, and between rehearsals, fittings, travel, and constant press speculation, they needed the calm. But today wasn't calm. Today, Dakota was expecting a visit from her mother, Melanie Griffith. And Sam was nervous. Very nervous. The doorbell rang shortly after noon. Dakota opened it before Sam could reach the hallway. "Mom," Melanie Griffith wrapped her daughter in a long, warm hug, then stepped inside with her signature bright smile. Well, she said, spotting Sam. "There he is, the charming Scotsman stealing my daughter's heart." Sam straightened like a soldier. "Ms. Griffith, Melanie, it's wonderful to meet you." She looked him up and down with a sharp, evaluating eye. "Taller than you look on screen," she said. "People say that," Sam answered with a polite smile. Dakota pressed her hand to her forehead. "Mom, please don't interrogate him." Melanie laughed, but the glint in her eyes said she absolutely would. "Interrogate? Sweetheart, I'm just getting to know the man my daughter is going to marry." Sam gulped. They all sat in the living room, sipping tea. Melanie crossed her legs and leaned back, all grace and confidence. "So, Sam," she began, "I saw the photos of you two in Scotland. Did everything go smoothly with your father?" Dakota tensed. Melanie had a talent for diving straight into the heart of things. Sam nodded. "It went well. He gave us his blessing." Melanie smiled warmly. "That's wonderful." Then her expression sharpened. "And what about your work? When the next season of filming begins, how will you and Dakota handle the distance?" Sam hesitated. He had answers, but none simple. Dakota stepped in. "Mom, we've talked about this. We have a plan." "I know, darling," Melanie said gently, "but marriage is different. And I want to make sure you two understand what you're stepping into." Sam took a breath. "I love your daughter," he said. "Distance doesn't scare me. Losing her does." Melanie blinked. Dakota's eyes softened. "That," Melanie said slowly, "was a very good answer." Sam exhaled, relief washing through him. Later, while Sam stepped outside to take a call from his agent, Melanie pulled Dakota into the kitchen. "Sweetheart," she said quietly, "he's wonderful. But marriage takes more than love. It takes honesty, sacrifice, and understanding." Dakota leaned against the counter. "I know. And Sam understands it too." Melanie touched her daughter's cheek. I trust you. I'm just scared because I know how intense this industry can be, and how relationships get squeezed by it. Dakota nodded. Hollywood could be cruel. She'd lived enough to know that. I'm choosing him, she said softly. And I'm choosing this life with him. Melanie smiled, eyes glistening. Then I'm choosing to support you both. When Sam walked back in, Melanie pulled him into a hug. He froze, then hugged her back, slightly confused. Welcome to the family, Melanie said. Sam nearly melted, but Melanie wasn't the only one coming today. As she gathered her things to leave, Dakota's phone buzzed. She frowned. It's my dad. He's on his way. Sam blinked. Don Johnson? Dakota nodded. And he's bringing my grandmother. Sam looked physically pained. Is this a test? Are we being tested? Dakota tried not to laugh. Maybe. Half an hour later, another ring echoed through the house. Dakota opened the door, and Don Johnson stood there in a leather jacket and boots, looking like he'd just driven straight out of an action movie. Beside him stood Dakota's grandmother, Tippi Hedren, elegant, poised, timeless. Don cupped Dakota's face in his hands. Hello, baby girl. Hi, Dad. He pulled her into a strong hug. Then he looked over her shoulder at Sam. And narrowed his eyes. Sam straightened instantly. A reflex, Don walked up to him slowly. Studying him, measuring him. Sam Heughan, Mr. Johnson. Silence. Then Don clapped Sam's shoulder, hard enough to make him wobble. You look like you could handle yourself, Don said. I do my best, Sam replied, trying to stay upright. Dakota groaned. Dad, please don't test my fiancé's reflexes. Don grinned. No promises. Tippi Hedren stepped forward next, offering her hand. Sam bowed slightly as he took it, his upbringing showing. What a lovely young man, she said brightly. Thank you, Ms. Hedren. She inspected him with a warm, knowing smile, the kind only grandmothers have. You love my granddaughter? Sam's face softened. With all my heart. Good, she said. Then love her through the storms, not just the sunshine. Dakota's throat tightened. She hugged her grandmother tightly. Tippi kissed her cheek. I'm proud of you, darling. That night, they all went to dinner. The restaurant was quiet, expensive, intimate. Or at least, it was until their table started discussing filled circle wedding venues, filled circle cultural traditions, filled circle future children, filled circle honeymoon destinations, filled circle Sam's whiskey preferences, filled circle Dakota's acting roles, filled circle marriage philosophies, filled circle Don Johnson's old Hollywood stories, filled circle and one accidental mention of Sam's shirtless magazine covers. Dakota nearly choked on her wine. Sam covered his face. Melanie cackled, but beneath the chaos was warmth. Love, support, and acceptance. By dessert, Don leaned forward, clearing his throat. Sam, he said, more serious now. You have my blessing, but if you break her heart. Dakota interrupted loudly. Dad, Tippi waved her fork. He won't. I can tell. Sam felt his chest tighten with emotion. He reached for Dakota's hand under the table. She squeezed back. Their families, two completely different worlds, were beginning to merge. And it felt right. Natural. Real, but outside that quiet restaurant, photographers waited. Reporters whispered. Cameras clicked. Someone had leaked the dinner reservation, and tomorrow. The world would know. The headlines would explode. Dakota Johnson and Sam Heughan, wedding confirmed? Families spotted together in London, two Hollywood dynasties merged, their private moment was about to become public. And this was only the beginning.